If you're looking for mobile phone parts and accessories, then check out seektech.ie. Seektech offers affordable OEM and top quality parts for customers within Ireland and Europe. Local repair services are also available for customers based in Dublin. Okay, so to begin the process of replacing your iPhone 6 battery, you're going to need a couple of tools. Now, a lot of these general tools are inexpensive, but some of them are expensive. But the ones that you see here, you can pick them up on eBay or Amazon for a cheap price. The first tool you're going to need to get into the phone is a pentalobe screwdriver. Then you're going to need a Phillips 000 screwdriver as well. And then you'll also need a suction cup to pry open the screen. Now you can use one of these tools here, it makes it a lot easier, but they're quite expensive. Then you're going to need a plastic spudger. Make sure the plastic spudger that you're using has a flat end to it. It's kind of like a slope. And then you'll also need a guitar pick to also pry open the screen. Just additional, you'll need like a tweezer as well. So the first thing you want to do is take the pentalobe screwdriver and then locate the charger port section, and then just simply unscrew the two pentalobe screwdrivers at the bottom of the phone. Now as we proceed in the tutorial, there are some equipment that you will need as well, such as a blow dryer, but I didn't include them at the beginning of the video because they weren't really something you would consider tools. So yeah, once you have the screws off, then just take the suction cup and then place the phone down, make sure the suction cup is on tightly, then just gently pry it up just a little bit, like a couple of millimeters, and then you want to take the plastic spudger and just kind of angle it to the very corner. You can either go to the corner on the left or the corner on the right. Then you just need to take the guitar pick and just simply make your way around the phone. Now that is how you take it off with this suction cup. But I want to show you how easy it is to remove the screen with the iSlack tool. Now you just simply line it up and then click down, and the screen opens up to the perfect angle. Now the problem with the other way of removing the screen is that you might end up just pulling the screen right off, which will damage the screen connectors and flex cables. Once you've pried open the screen, you need to make sure it sits at a 90-degree angle. You can use one of these tools, but again, that's an additional expense. But here's a simple trick that you can do. Just take a box that's about the same length as the screen, then simply take the phone screen, line it up with the box. Now make sure it's 90 degrees. It can be a little bit over, but please don't go any further than 90 degrees because you'll risk damaging the cable. And then you can just simply use a sticky label to hold the screen against the box. So once the screen is up, the first thing you need to do is remove the battery connector. This will basically prevent you from shortening any electronic components. The battery connector is located on the bottom side of the right side of the phone, which is where the motherboard is. So you need to remove the two screws, take off the bracket, and then disconnect the battery. And then the next thing we need to do is remove these 5 screws located at the top right of the motherboard or the phone housing. Now these screws secure the screen flex cable connectors. Now the reason why we're taking these off is because once we have the screen off, we can then easily carry the housing of the phone and then take off the battery, because the battery is a nuisance to take off. It's absolutely tedious, and a lot of the videos on YouTube don't show that at all. So yeah, once you have the screws off, then take your tweezer and then remove the shield for the screen connectors. And now we need to disconnect the screen flex cables, but be careful when you're taking these off. There are some components you could damage on the motherboard, so take it easy. Now when you get to this last one here, remove that, but don't remove the one on the top right corner, because that one has to do with the rear camera. So yeah, just separate the screen from the housing. And now as you can see, I have all the screws lined up corresponding to the holes on the shield. Don't mix these up at all. So yeah, next thing you need to do is locate the bottom of the battery and peel this tab over. And what you're meant to do is grab a hold of the white adhesive and make its way around the edge of the battery. Now this is easier said than done, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to break and it's not going to work out. As you can see here, both of them didn't peel off from me. However, there is an alternative. Just take a soft plastic card and a hairdryer. Make sure the hairdryer is set to the lowest heat, and then what you want to do is blow dry the back of the phone where the battery will be situated. Make sure it's not too hot as well, so you want to do this about 10 to 15 or even 20 seconds. Then simply take the small plastic card and start prying into the adhesive from the bottom of the battery on the left side of the phone. If you need a bit more heat, then just use the hairdryer again. Once you've pried off a little bit open, then you need to take the plastic spudger and just locate the bottom left corner of the phone just to give it a little bit more of a push. You don't want to do this too much, and you need to be very gentle, especially if you plan on using this battery again. However, this phone is intended to get rid of this battery and replace it with a totally new one, so yeah, I'm not really taking it that easy, but this is a very safe method. Now, you always want to go to about this much and then just simply start using your hands. Now, like I said, don't go anywhere near the other corners of the phone or the top. As you can see, the adhesive is pretty strong. It even managed to take out a chunk of the battery label there. Now, this is the reason why I said don't go to the top. As you can see, there's some sensitive cables, and then you have the motherboard on the right. Once that's done, you need to just brush off any excess debris that may be left over from the adhesive. You can use like an anti-static brush. Now, as you can see here, I'm adding some additional adhesive. Now, this is mobile phone adhesive, and if you don't have any, you know, it's not a big deal, but if you can purchase any, I would highly recommend it, simply because once you have a new adhesive on the phone, the battery is not able to move around. Now, what you want to do is not connect the battery just yet, and you want to do everything in reverse order. So we're going to start connecting the screen flex cables. Now, you want to be gentle with these, make sure they're lined up correctly, because if you don't line them up, you could end up damaging the connectors, and once that's done, it's quite hard and expensive to replace. Now, as you can see, there's a bit of slack here once the cables are connected, and that is what you're going to be looking for. It means everything's connected correctly. Then just simply put the shield back in place and insert the corresponding screws. Now, as you can see, I'm doing them diagonally. The reason why is because this eases off the tension on the flex cables. I'd actually recommend that you insert the top right screw last. So what you want to do is bring the screen towards you and then just put in the screw on the top right corner. This will ease off the tension if you bring the screen forward. So now what you want to do is put the battery connector in a U shape, and be careful you don't damage anything on the motherboard when you're using the plastic spudger. And then you just want to use your fingertip to press down on the connector. Then just simply pop back the shield for the battery connector and insert the two screws. Now, make sure these are in the same order as when you took them off. Okay, so now we're almost done, but before you close off the phone, you need to turn it on and do some testing. So the first thing you need to do is stick it on charge. Now, as you can see here, it's been charging for about 5 minutes and it's gone up by 5%. It's actually been charging for 6 minutes there, as you can see. And then you need to just test the touch screen to make sure your connectors are in right, and then check the camera as well. Now, I know you didn't really go near the camera, but you never know, you might have taken off the flex cable for the rear camera. Once all the checks are done, then just simply power off the phone, line up the screen. Now, you want to start from the top of the screen and the housing, and then just gently press down on each side simultaneously and make your way down and let the screen sit in flush. Now, make sure the screen is in flush. Once it's in, then just simply put in the pentalobe screwdrivers and you are pretty much done. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up and a comment.